Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive. Imagine being the most powerful man on earth. Not rich, not famous, not influential, powerful. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, ruler of the greatest empire on earth, with wealth beyond imagination, absolute authority, and the freedom to indulge nearly any desire. No one could force him to live with restraint. No one could stop him from drowning in luxury, pleasure, ego, or excess. And yet, he didn't. So let me ask you something. If you had unlimited wealth, no meaningful consequences, and no one above you for 19 years, who would you become? Would you become disciplined? Would you become wise? Would you become good? Or would you become a slave to every appetite you ever had? That is what makes Marcus Aurelius so fascinating. He had every excuse to live for pleasure, and instead, he chose principle. His private writings and meditations return again and again to the Stoic ideas that virtue matters more than wealth, status, or comfort, and that a person should act in accordance with nature. The natural order. Marcus believed that everything in existence has a nature, a role, a purpose, a way it is meant to unfold. A tree does not grow for applause. It does not stretch toward the sky because it wants approval. It grows because growth is its nature. Its purpose is not to be admired, but to fully become what it was made to be. Rooted, strong, and awe-inspiring. A caterpillar does not apologize for becoming a butterfly. A chick does not hesitate to become an eagle. Nature gives each living thing an assignment, and fulfillment comes from becoming what you were designed to become. The Stoic idea of living according to nature means aligning yourself with reason, virtue, and the role proper to a human being, not chasing impulse or external rewards. That theme runs throughout Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius's writings. The human assignment. So what is the human assignment? For Marcus Aurelius, it is not fame, it is not pleasure, it is not domination, it is not being admired. Your assignment is to become fully human. That means being just when it is inconvenient, patient when it is hard, honest when lying would be easier, kind when others are cruel, disciplined when your impulses beg for indulgence. To live in accordance with nature as a human being is to fulfill your highest potential, to become the most virtuous version of yourself. The real tragedy is not pain, it is not failure, it is not criticism. The real tragedy is abandoning your nature. It is becoming less than you could have been. It is letting your character collapse when life asks you to stand tall. Marcus repeatedly frames the moral task of life around being good and doing what your nature requires. Pleasure versus happiness. This is where most people get lost. We chase pleasure and call it happiness. We chase money, status, attention, validation, applause. We chase the next purchase, the next compliment, the next victory, the next distraction. And because all of those things come from outside us, we become dependent on a world we cannot control. Marcus saw through that illusion. Pleasure is external, it is stimulation, it is temporary. It comes and goes with circumstance. But happiness, real happiness, is internal. It comes from the quality of your character, from the order of your mind, from the way you respond to what happens, not from what happens itself. You cannot always control your reputation. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control loss, sickness, betrayal, bad luck, or time. But you can control this, who you become in response. That is the Stoic divide. External things are unstable, but your judgments, choices, and moral character are where freedom lives. The storm and the duty. Life is not going to become gentle just because you are trying to become better. There will be storms. There will be betrayal, setbacks, humiliation, pain, delays, losses, and people who seem almost designed to test your patience. Marcus knew this well. In one of his most famous reflections, he reminds himself that the people he meets will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly, and that this should not shock him. To him, difficult people were not some cosmic mistake. They were part of reality, like thorns on a vine, like rain in a storm. Complaining about them changes nothing. Your duty is not to whine about reality. Your duty is to meet it well. Marcus tells himself to be like the rock the waves keep crashing over, standing firm while the fury of the water falls still around it. That is greatness, not avoiding the storm, but enduring it without surrendering your soul. A great person acts. A great person endures. A great person does not waste life asking, "Why is this happening to me?" A great person asks, "What does this moment require of me?" Closing call to action. Being great is not something foreign to your nature. It is your nature. You were not born merely to consume, react, complain, compare, and chase distractions until time runs out. You are here to fulfill a role. So stop praying for a life without pain. Stop begging for the storm to pass you by. Pray instead for the strength to walk through it unbroken. Pray for the discipline to remain kind in a cruel world. Pray for the courage to stay honest when deception is rewarded. Pray for the spirit to make it through life unscathed in the one place that matters most, your character. Because in the end, this is the lesson Marcus Aurelius leaves behind. You do not need more applause. You do not need more pleasure. You do not need more permission. You need to become what you were made to be. Be good, be kind, stand firm, and reach your fullest potential.